What's up, Headless Horde? Welcome back to the channel. Game of Thrones is legendary for shocking deaths, but let's be honest, some of them felt wrong. Not tragic in the right way, and just frustrating. Today, we're counting down the 5 Game of Thrones characters who should never have died, at least not the way they did. And trust me, some of these still sting years later. Now let's get into it. At number 5, we've got Daenerys' dragon, Rhaegal. Now look, Rhaegal wasn't the star dragon. Drogon always stole the spotlight. But that doesn't mean he deserved such a cheap death. Remember in The Last of the Starks, when Euron's fleet somehow snuck up on Dany while she was flying in the sky? That's right, an entire navy managed to sneak up on a dragon. And then with a single impossible shot, boom, Rhaegal is gone. It felt less like natural storytelling and more like the writers pushing fast forward to send Daenerys down the path of madness. And that there is another issue, but that's for a different video. A dragon dying could have been epic, heartbreaking, and meaningful. Instead, it felt rushed and almost laughably improbable. Poor Rhaegal deserved better. Number 4. Prince Oberyn Martell, the Red Viper himself. One of the coolest, most charismatic characters in the series. And he dies in the most brutal way possible. Now, I don't have an issue with the death itself. I thought it was one of probably the best we have in the series. But his duel with the Mountain is still one of the most iconic fights in Game of Thrones history. Oberyn had him beat. The Mountain is down, and then Hubris strikes. Instead of finishing him off, Oberyn demands a confession and gets his skull crushed in front of all of King's Landing. Yes, it was shocking. Yes, it shaped Tyrion's story. But here's the thing. Tyrion still could have left King's Landing even if Oberyn had won. Oberyn's presence would have added so much to the Dorne storyline later. Plus, let's face it, when a character is this beloved and this magnetic, it feels like a crime to lose him so soon. Oberyn's death is iconic, but man, I wish he would have stuck around. Plus, look what happened to the storyline with Dorne. Number 3 is Lord Varys, the master of whisperers. Early in the series, Varys was one of the smartest men in Westeros, always 5 steps ahead, playing the game better than almost anyone. But by season 8, it's like he lost half his intelligence. His betrayal of Dany was clumsy, rushed, and honestly, out of character. The Varys we knew would never send treasonous letters while sitting on the same island as the Queen, who explicitly warned him that betrayal meant death. It wasn't just that he died, it's how he died. Varys deserved to go out with cunning and intrigue, not sloppy mistakes. His execution was meant to push Dany's descent further, but it came at the cost of one of the show's most fascinating players. And once again, you can see we have another character who dies because of the rushed ending of Season 8. Number 2. Sandor Clegane, the Hound. His whole arc was about growth, about moving beyond hatred and vengeance. By the end of Season 7, he had learned restraint. He had formed a bond with Arya. He was on the path to becoming more than just a killer. But then, Season 8 gave us the Clegane Bowl. Now I get it. Fans wanted to see the Hound face off with the Mountain for years. But the way it happened undercut everything his arc was building toward. He dies dragging his already half-zombie brother into flames. An act that feels hollow because the Mountain was already dead inside. It's less a triumph and more of an empty gesture. The Hound deserved to survive, or at least die for something more meaningful than a meme battle. Number 1. Jaime Lannister. Few characters had such an incredible redemption arc. From the arrogant Kingslayer to the man who saved Brienne, and seemed ready to leave Cersei behind forever. His journey was powerful, emotional, and inspiring. And then, like a lot of Season 8, it collapsed. He returns to Cersei in the final episodes, abandoning everything he'd grown into, only to die with her as rubble falls around them. Some argue it's poetic. I argue it's wasted potential. Tragic backslides can work, but this one wasn't earned. It felt forced, like the showrunners were following bullet points instead of character logic. Jaime's death hurt not because it was sad, but because it robbed us of the redemption that had been so carefully built for years. So there you have it. 5 Game of Thrones characters who should have never died. At least not the way they did. Now before we get on out of here, I do want to give 2 honorable mentions. Because not that the characters should not have died, it's just, again, the way they died. So the first one is Ser Jorah. Again, I don't have a problem with him dying defending the queen. It makes sense. But it's done so sloppy, and you barely get time to mourn the character that you've known through all 8 seasons. I mean, we are talking about a character who is on screen with one of the leads of the series. Almost every scene that we see her, Jorah is always by her side. And then finally, my second honorable mention is going to be Theon Greyjoy. The way that he goes out just running at the Night King like he had any chance at all to do damage to him was so ridiculous. What human would ever do something like that? He would have been better off just standing guard in front of Bran. If Bran was not going to go do something with these powers, then that would have been a better option. What do you think? Do you agree with this list? Or are there other deaths that still haunt you? Drop your thoughts in the comments and let's debate. And I'm currently working on another video that will be talking about the 5 characters who should have died in the Game of Thrones universe. If you love diving back into Westeros, then do me a massive favor and like, subscribe, and ring that notification bell for any time I upload new content. Because winter may be over, but the discussion never ends. I'll have plenty of content coming up when we get the new series, The Night of the Seven Kingdoms, and eventually, House of the Dragon Season 3. Guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Don't forget to keep those heads on, and I will see you guys in the next video.